Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Smoke Signals. I'm Matt Montgomery, along with head football coach and athletic director Wayne Coleman. Jacksonville gets a big district win last week in Hallsville in the rain, 28-15. Coach, big win, obviously. The team played really well considering the conditions. I mean, I know both teams played in it, but you seem to execute, as we'll see here in a few minutes on the highlights. Your offense really was clicking even in the rain.
They did a good job throwing and catching. Sometimes you've got kids that struggle with that. This group of kids seems to perform well in it, so we're very satisfied with that.
You know, it seemed it took a little time to put Hallsville away. Their quarterback, as you said, little Johnny Manziel, he was all over the field, but you really adjusted well in the second half and contained him much better.
Yeah, he's a good high school football player. Not a very big kid, just slippery, hard to get a hold of. It took us a little while. We didn't come out and start the second half very strong, so that kind of made the game more interesting there in the third quarter.
And they forced you to do some different things offensively. They started bringing the house in there in the third, fourth quarter. They started just blitzing every play almost.
Yeah, when you're behind like that, you might as well take some chances. And they started doing a lot of blitzing, and you have to make a decision there on the offensive side of the ball. Are you trying to run the clock out at some point, or are you going to take some shots for big plays? And so we made some adjustments and protected the quarterback better.
Of course, in a game like that where it rained the whole game, it just continuous, and you came out running the football, and I guess that's kind of what you knew you had to do. Was that like a pregame adjustment, like we need to shift here because we know it's going to be raining?
Yeah, it was kind of a deal of the pine tree mindset. A couple weeks before, we wanted to establish the run early and so to open up the pass later on, and Patrick did a good job of that.
Well, we named the offensive line the offensive player of the game as a unit because they really did a nice job, and they just keep getting better every week.
They do. They've gotten better every single week. We've got some young players on there, and it's going to be exciting to have some of those kids back next year.
And the other thing is you got dinged up a little bit. I mean, there was a couple of guys that came out of the game, and some other kids stepped up and played well.
Yeah, we're getting a little more banged up right now late in the season. We've been doing a lot of contact during practice. It's starting to take its toll on us a little bit. We're going to have to be smart in practice the next couple of weeks.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Jacksonville's win over Hallsville. Of course, this is Clater to Tyrese for 9-yard touchdown. Nice zip on that slant.
Yeah, good job there, Justin, cutting the route off short.
Here's slant number 2 for the score. This one goes to Chris.
Yeah, got a blitz coming from the backside. Chris makes a slant adjustment. Good job by Patrick getting the ball there.
Here's the junior defensive tackle, Carson Cleaver, with a TFL.
Carson's been really big for us. Looking at trying to play him both ways some next year.
Coach, this is a big play. Stephen Gallegos comes in and lays the wood. That's 4th down and 4. It's a big play to stop that drive.
Yeah, on our end of the field, that might have saved us some points.
Here goes Clater to Chris. Chris just nonchalantly just reaches up there and grabs it for the score.
And that was an all-out blitz, and our O-line and running backs did a great job of picking it up.
Here's a fumble recovery as Kennedy makes the hit and then jumps on the ball.
Yeah, screen pass. Casey did a great job there.
There's a powerful run by Aaron Richardson for 24.
Aaron, when he gets going north and south, he's a load to bring down. He's a very powerful running back.
And Coach, this sealed it right here on 4th and 1, Clater's zone read.
Patrick, he's been running that play all year. Sometimes, you get 0, sometimes you get a bunch, and that was a big one for us.
And then here's Tyrese Gibson, the senior, finishing it off with a pick.
Yeah, we had them in a situation there late in the game. They had to throw the ball. We played some coverage, and Tyrese made the play.
Of course, Patrick had a big game, 15 of 22, 68%, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And so he also had the 43 yards rushing. So big game by Patrick. And again, credit to the offensive line, picking up those blitzes. And, you kind of want it to rain every week if you're going to do stuff like that, huh?
Yeah. Really impressed with the way the kids totally blocked out the elements of the weather and just focused on executing. And there's some shots there, just in those few clips of the line and backs picking up the blitzes on max protection, and some great side adjustments by the receivers and quarterback cutting routes off short against the blitz. So really happy with the way they performed.
Now it's Mount Pleasant coming to Tomato Bowl. You got your last 2 games here at home, and with a shot, some things can happen where your team can take care of business and maybe get some help and get in. Mount Pleasant. This is a team that started off really hot to start the season. People were thinking, hey, this team, and they ran into the district, and that just they've struggled as well. I think they have one win. Two wins in district. Okay.
No, one in district.
One in district, two overall, right. And so they're coming into Tomato Bowl. They have some athletes.
They do. They're really pretty to look at. You look at them, they're long and lean, and look like they got the whole basketball team out there playing for them.
Yeah,
and,
just like what they looked last year.
And so they've got some very athletic kids out there that can make plays.
What do they do offensively?
They're hard to defend because they'll jump in the spread one series and they'll come back and jump into kind of a modified wing tee with an unbalanced line the next series. So it's going to be a real challenge defensively just getting lined up correctly against them.
So what kind of looks will you give them defensively for that? I mean, obviously you played the wing tee this year. The Palestine was the only game, right. And spread obviously everybody else.
No, you've got to be able to adjust defensively and jump into a spread defense and then jump into a goal line defense when they wad things up tight.
Probably a dumb question here, but do they have an athletic quarterback?
That seems to be the theme this year.
Always.
Yeah, in our district, their kid is going to kind of fall right in the middle. He's a thrower and a runner. He's not the best thrower in the district. He's not the best runner in the district, but he is a good high school quarterback.
Offensively, how will you attack them?
They're going to, traditionally, they've been playing a lot of man coverage. So they're going to make us throw the football. They're going to load up and stop the run. Now, that's what they've done all year. They may watch us on video and change their plan. I don't know. We've got to be ready to execute either way. And Patrick's done a good job of the RPOs of giving the ball when he should and throwing it when he should. So we just got to continue to follow that game plan.
Coach, you talked consistently, particularly here on Smoke Signals, about your attitude of your team and how they come to practice each week, and they just seem to, there had to be a bigger bounce in their step this week after the win.
No doubt, almost to the point where you're like, hey, you need to settle down and get refocused here. We didn't win the Super Bowl, okay? And I know it's been a long time in between wins for them, so they're really excited, but we got to get focused back on the task at hand and really, hone in on Mount Pleasant in this week's game plan.
Each Friday night is different, and when I go down on the field, I try to get a feel for the team and are they focused and you made the great comment that sometimes it's hard to tell the difference in focus and lackadaisical with kids. I mean, it seemed like last Friday night as I was standing there in that rain right before the pregame that your players seemed really focused, and I know you're going to have that coming back to Tomato Bowl this week to stay in this thing.
Yeah, and it's really hard pregame to tell. Are these guys super focused, or are these guys just they don't care? And Friday night for sure they were focused, and we've got to keep that focus going this week. And Mount Pleasant is going to present some more athletic challenges that we didn't have last week. Hallsville is a well-coached team, not super athletic. These guys are well-coached and more athletic than Hallsville. So, and they beat Hallsville by a couple touchdowns just like we did. So these are two evenly matched teams.
So, Coach, if you could just give our viewers here just an idea about the playoff picture. I know you got to get the win obviously Friday night, but if you do that, what could happen for your team maybe to slip in?
Yeah, we've got to win this game and we've got to win the next game. And if we take care of that, Pine Tree plays Lindale this week. Pine Tree's trying not to end up in the number 4 seed, so they want to win this game bad. Lindale's trying to secure a playoff spot. If Pine Tree beats Lindale comes to the Tomato Bowl with 2 district wins. If we beat Mount Pleasant, we play Lindale, and we've got 2 district wins. So the two of us will be playing for that 3rd district win. We need to put ourselves in that position. Meanwhile, Nacogdoches has got Hallsville this Friday, so they're trying to get their 2nd district win. So for us, we want to go into the last week of the season with us trying to get our 3rd win, Lindale trying to get their 3rd win, Nacogdoches trying to get their 3rd win to create a 3-way tie for that 4th playoff spot. Then after that, you start looking at point tiebreakers and that kind of stuff. And
we could go all
flips.
All kinds of stuff. Yeah. Well, thanks for explaining that, because I know people are thinking we still have a shot at the playoffs. Yes, you do. In this kind of a district, and you kind of had some separation from the top teams and the lower tier teams, so that enables those lower tier teams to fight it out for that 4th spot. And you're still in it. If you get this win Friday night, you go into that game, Lindale.
Yeah, and that's where the kids' positive attitude all season comes into play, because a lot of teams would give up after a long stretch of playing some tough people and having some losses. But these kids have come to work every day, and it's a great life lesson. There's going to be those tough times in life that You can't let it get you down. You got to keep grinding, and these kids have done that, and hopefully the life lesson continues and we keep having something to play for after this Friday.
So the focus is Mount Pleasant Friday. Talk about keys to the game to get the win.
We've done a really good job of establishing our run game lately, so we got to keep doing that. Now they may just say, no, you're not, and load the box and play straight man. If they do that, we're going to have to hit the home run shots. And we haven't had to do that lately, throw that many deep balls, but they may force us to do that. And if we do, we've got to execute. Defensively, can we get lined up to all the formations? Lots of different looks they're going to give us. So we just got to get lined up. If we get lined up right on defense, we can play with these guys and we'll be fine. But that's the key, get lined up on defense and take advantage of the big plays they're going to probably offer us on offense.
So it's Jacksonville versus Mount Pleasant back at Tomato Bowl. We'll be on the air at 6:45 on jhs-sports.com. Hope to see you at Tomato Bowl. For head coach Wayne Coleman, I'm Matt Montgomery. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.